guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Makayla, and today we are starting a scary book reading marathon, which specifically means we're going to be reading horror books for this video, and I'm so excited. So ever since I was little, I've loved everything horror related. I've loved scary movies. I've loved going to haunted houses. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. Everything along those lines I've just loved ever since I was little. I grew up watching scary movies, and now that I have become a reader, I'm so excited to start dabbling into the horror book genre, because up until like a few months ago, I'd only ever really read thrillers. I've never dabbled into the actual horror genre, so I'm really excited. So we are going to be reading strictly horror books in this video. I had 3 that I specifically do want to read, and then I have a 4th option that if I end up finishing all 3 of them, that I can pick up as well. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to show you the 3 books that we are planning to read in this video, and then we're going to jump right into it. I have a pretty open end of this week into weekend, so I'm hoping to finish all of these within the next like 5 days, which I think is reasonable because 2 of these books are under 300 pages, so they are on the shorter side, and I think it's very plausible because I'm not very busy. So we are going to jump right into the 3 main books in this video, and then I'll show you the 4th one. So the first one is Hell House by Richard Matheson, which this book you're following, I think it's 4. Yeah. 4 strangers end up going to this like forbidden haunted mansion that has a history of a lot of crazy things happening in it, murder, suicides, all of that stuff, and it stood empty. Well, these 4 strangers are going to go investigate in the house, and it's a matter of if they can survive the soul that lurks within the house. So I am really excited. This is actually the longest book in this video, and even then this one is barely over 300 pages. It is literally 305 pages. So it is, again, on the shorter side. So are the other 2 main ones for this video. So this is the first option. The next book is Mr. Magic by Kiersten White, which this one, there was 30 years ago, a tragic accident shut down this TV show, and it was called the children's program Mr. Magic, and then the 5 surviving cast members of that tragedy go back and try to figure out what happened, and they end up getting brought back together and have to address what happened in the past, that type of stuff. This one is, let's see, like 280 pages, so again, a little bit on the shorter side. I've read one other book by Kiersten White. It was Hide, and this one, it just wasn't what I was expecting. It was a supernatural horror book, which I wasn't expecting it to be supernatural, so that caught me off guard. But I did enjoy her writing style, so I'm interested to try this one out, and that is the next one. And moving on to the 3rd book, it is The Mist by Stephen King, which I am like dabbling into Stephen King recently, which is super exciting because he's very prominent in the horror genre. So I'm reading one of his books right now, and then there's 2 other books of his that I'm planning on reading, this being one of them. In this one, you're set in the aftermath of like a big thunderstorm. There's this mysterious mist that rolls through the town, and like bad things, people die when they go into the mist. So it's a group of strangers that are locked in a local supermarket, and it's them trying to survive this whole situation and figure out what's going on. So that is this one. This one is only, I'm trying to like 165 pages. So this one is even shorter than the other 2. So this one should be a very quick, I can finish it definitely in like a few hours type read. And I'm really excited for this one because it's Stephen King and it is on the shorter side. So excited for this one. Now moving on to the 4th book, that if I end up finishing all 3 of those within a reasonable amount of time, and I still have time and like energy left in this weekend that I want to continue this reading marathon, I have The Shining by Stephen King. It's a little bit different than the other books in this video, but it is all in the same, another horror book. It's obviously a very popular book, and I am really excited. I do want to read this at some point this month. It's a very famous, but it is, this specific copy is over 600 pages. It is like on a very like smaller scale sized book. It's like a smaller paperback, which I don't really have any of those, so it's pretty cool. But this is the 4th book that is also like an option if I end up wanting to continue the challenge at the end after I read the first 3 books. So these are the 3 main books that I plan to read in this video. I'm super excited for all the spooky vibes. I might actually go to a haunted house this weekend because it's one of our only weekends where we don't have a football game. And I'm like, just took all of my midterms for all of my classes, so I'm very open and free. So we're gonna take advantage, have a fun, spooky season weekend, and read some horror books. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to do a little update on where I'm at. So I'm 75 pages in to Mr. Magic, and I'm actually really liking it so far. It is very good, just like ominous and spooky vibes. So where you start out in the story, you're following Val, who can't remember anything about her childhood, and she's lived on this ranch with her dad, secluded from life, has never gone to like public school, nothing, and she's like 38. She can't remember anything from before she was 8 years old. Well, it turns out she was on this TV show called Mr. Magic throughout her childhood, and she can't remember anything about it. And everyone like always remembers about this Mr. Magic TV show and loved it as a kid, but there's no record of it at all. On the internet, you can't find like anything. So it's very ominous. It's kind of where you're starting out in the story, and I'm really liking it. It's very, I don't want to say ominous again. It's really good. It was actually got really spooky last night. I was reading it in bed, and I got a little freaked out and stopped reading because I was scared and just wanted to go to bed. But I am really liking it so far. I'm making good progress, and ultimately I hope to finish this today to just get the challenge moving and to keep going. But I am liking it so far, and I will update you in a little bit. Okay, so I thought I'd provide a little reading update. I'm currently at 205 pages in to Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. And one thing I've noticed about her writing is I don't read it as fast as I normally read other books. I don't know specifically if it's her writing style, but I found this... Orso wants to squeak his toy, of course. Where's that? Yeah, so I've noticed that about her books. I am enjoying it. It is spooky and ominous. It's starting to pick up, so I think we're about to hit like the main bulk of the conflict and like figuring things out. So I'm excited about that. I'm really hoping to finish this maybe tonight. It's only 8 o'clock, so I'm going to sit here and read quite a bit. I had a very busy and stressful day. I had an exam today, so I am really just mentally tired, so we'll see how fast I can read. But I am enjoying it so far, and I will probably check back in when I finish, and then we will move on to the next book in this video. I have officially finished Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. I finished it last night, and overall I did enjoy it. It was very ominous. It is like a supernatural horror, if that makes sense. I think the thing that I did not enjoy about it, I talked about how it was taking me forever to read, but I also just feel like it wasn't high enough stakes. I like my horror and thriller books to just be really high stakes, and this, quite frankly, just didn't really have that, and I think that's one of the reasons that I didn't enjoy it as much. I think overall I'm going to give it 3.5 stars, and yeah, that's kind of all for this book. I did start Hell House by Richard Matheson this morning. I only got 17 pages in, so I'm very in the beginning stages of the book, but one thing I enjoy is the font is really big on the pages, so I think I'm going to be able to fly through this one pretty quickly. It's a little over 300 pages, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through this one pretty quickly, and I'm excited because I have seen this one much more advertised for the horror genre. My dog just took his blanket. I don't know if you can see that. He loves to just like take his blanket Anyways, this one has been much more advertised in the horror genre, so I am excited to get started on this one. So I will keep you updated as I keep reading, and we are continuing this scary book challenge. Okay, I'm back with another little reading update. I am 85 pages into Hell House, which according to Goodreads is 28% the way in. One thing I didn't notice was how old this book is. It was published in 1971, which I wasn't expecting it to be that old, but it is actually set in the 1970s too, which is also kind of interesting. But one thing I've noticed, it is written in third person, I believe. Yeah. I think so. But the main thing I've noticed is in the dialogue between the characters, it's all very quick. And the dialogue just doesn't feel very real and realistic just because the characters like don't really talk. They're just like very quick responses to each other. So that's bothered me a little bit, but it is like getting a little bit spooky. Things are starting to happen in the house. And one little thing that like kind of bothered me that was in the very beginning of the book, which is just like a trope that's like sometimes put into books that I really, really don't like. And that's when like a wife is completely like run by her husband, where in this book the husband went away for 3 weeks to go work on a project and she was at home. And it talked about how she was in such despair and wanted to kill herself because her husband was away for those 3 weeks. And I know, obviously, like, back in the 70s, it was a little bit of a different time. But that's just something I don't enjoy reading in books, is when there's, like, that kind of trope of, like, the woman being solely dependent on the male. And, yeah, I'm just rambling. That's just my personal opinion. If you like that in books, I mean, we're allowed to have different opinions. But I'm going to sit here, keep reading it. And yeah, we're just going to keep pushing along. And I will update you when I read when I want to next. Okay, I'm back with an update on Hell House. It is actually like almost a full week later since the last time I updated you. I just had a very hectic week. I had 2 exams. I'm also in training at my new part-time job. And all of that, it's just been really hectic. I didn't get to read that much this week, but I am on page 243 of Hell House. There is only like 305 pages, so my hope is I want to sit here and try and finish this so that I can move on and read The Mist, which that is only like 150 pages. So I think I can fly through that, especially if not tonight, by the end of the weekend. Okay, I have 2 little reading updates. Since the last time I checked in with you, I DNF'd Hell House. How many pages more did I get? Oh, literally like 2 pages. After I filmed that initial update, I ended up DNFing it because I realized I didn't really like this book. I wasn't enjoying reading it. And then, let me read you the line that really solidified me DNFing this book. This was said by one of the ghosts. It said, and this is a direct quote, I promise. "Let his god cock sink into my mouth. Let me drink his holy burning jism." I put the book down. I read that, quite literally closed the book and said I was done. Yeah, I just didn't really like this. Ended up DNFing it. I'm probably like 80% the way done, and I just couldn't bring myself to finish it. So, that is all I'm going to say on Hell House. It might be for some people, was not for me. Yeah. Anyways, I started Stephen King The Mist because obviously I DNF'd that. I am 48 pages in, and it's really good. I have watched the movie of this, so I kind of know like the general storyline of like what's happening. So that's helped a little bit, and I kind of want to rewatch the movie after reading, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's just a quick, easy read. we're just slowly getting through it. So hopefully I finish this by today. I think that's going to be the last book in this video. Hell House was taking me a lot longer than I anticipated to read, so I haven't been able to, I'm not going to be able to fit in The Shining like I said I may be able to. So that is where we are at, and yeah, I'll keep you updated while I'm reading this. And hopefully I don't dislike this one as much as I disliked Hell House. I'm officially back for my final update of this video. I finished The Mist by Stephen King last night, and honestly, I really enjoyed this. If you're wanting to get a taste of Stephen King's writing style, I think this is a great place to start because it's not much of a commitment. It's only like 160 pages. It's a quick story. Some of his books tend to go in like really deep detail, but this one is very straight up to the point, and it gives you an introduction to his writing style to see if maybe, to see if maybe you like his writing style. So overall, I really enjoyed this. It was just a quick, easy, fun, spooky read, and I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars, which is super good. So now this was the official last book of the video. It ended up taking me longer to film this than I thought it would. I just got really busy with life, and I wasn't reading as quickly as I normally would. I just had a lot going on, so I am not getting to the 4th book, The Shining. Like I said, I might in the very beginning. Okay, so diving into the 3 books that I did finish in this video. The first one that I read was Mr. Magic by Kirsten White. I think my official rating of this was 3.5 stars. I don't remember if I said my rating when I first reviewed it, but for this book, I think there just wasn't high enough stakes for what I was wanting in a horror book. It did feel more like thriller-esque than horror-esque. It was spooky at times, so I did enjoy that aspect of it, and it still was a good rating. My thriller and horrors, I'm much more strict on my ratings, just because they really have to be good, like really get me to get like a 5-star or a 4.5 star. They just really have to be above and beyond. So that is why this one got 3.5 stars. I still did enjoy it. I think if you want to give it a shot, give it a shot. It was pretty good. It was ominous and did have good like spooky season vibes, just not quite high enough stakes for me. Then we have Hell House by Richard Matheson. I ended up DNFing this book at about 60%, I believe. It just wasn't for me. I did not enjoy the writing style. I wasn't enjoying the storyline. And overall, I just didn't enjoy it, and I was really trying to push myself to finish this book, and this is what took me so long to read. I spent like over a week trying to finish this, and it just was not working. So I ended up finally DNFing it. I'm a person that I don't like to DNF books. I really try my hardest to at least try and push through to the end to see if maybe it picks up, maybe something changes and I end up liking it. But this one, there was just no coming back from it. When I first talked about DNFing it, I gave a quote on when I officially like stopped reading, because yeah, it was just insane. So I DNF'd it. It might be for you, but it was not for me. So that was that for this book. And then, like I said, the last one was Stephen King, The Mist, and I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars. It was really good, and I liked how quick and to the point it was, where it was just a really good, quick, easy read. And I love Stephen King. There's actually a movie that was adapted from this book, and I would highly recommend watching it. I actually watched the movie before I read the book, and I did enjoy the movie, so I might go back and rewatch the movie because it's been like a year or so since I've watched it. But I would highly recommend, if you're wanting to jumpstart into Stephen King, but you're a little bit scared of his longer books, this might be a good place to start. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely love spooky season, and if you have any good thriller or horror recommendations, drop them in the comments below, because I really want to expand my taste and take some recommendations from y'all. But like I said, I hope you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!